Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Everhome's Real Estate Marketing Trend. That one I got right. My name is Lee Honish. I am a professional real estate marketer, and that is David Bartels. He is broker owner of Everhome. Please visit our sponsor at everhome.io. That's Everhome for every home. Here's a commercial word from our sponsor. List your home online for one low set fee. Experience the Everhome way and discover the benefits risk-free. Explore Everhome's easy-to-use listing service risk-free and begin your journey to sell your home like a realtor. Get the benefits of massive exposure, full-service representation for critical elements of negotiations, legal forms, escrow, and title for a low set fee that saves you thousands. Visit everhome.io. That's www.everhome.io. That's Everhome for every home. Welcome back. Follow all of us on social media. That's at David Bartels. I'm at Lee Honish Marketing, and that's at Everhome.io. Remember to add the IO at the end of it. You can follow all three of us. Keep up to date. Send us questions. We love it each and every single week. David, how are you?
I'm doing really well now. Now we got you all warmed up.
You know what? I should pre-record this section too. We do a real estate marketing trend show for you each and every week. We try to bring you the most up-to-date real estate news. For the last 3 weeks, we've scoured the internet to bring you the most up-to-date stories. And this week is interesting, to say the very least. Today, we're going to talk about specifically, at least this episode, for those of you, it'll be the day after Thanksgiving. We record on Wednesday. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. I was going to say Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you. I didn't even realize. So I guess I need to go find a green hat to wear out today.
There you go. You got to wear green. Of course, I probably should have worn green for shoot day, but it is St. Patrick's Day. To those of you that are Irish, I realize that this is an important holiday. Happy St. Patrick's Day yesterday, because this comes out.
Is it a drinking holoday at St. Patrick's Day?
It is. It is. It's probably why I've missed it for so many years. But nonetheless, luck of the Irish to you all. May you have all good listings and good sales. This week, we are going to do our first episode of the week about how to have a standout experience for your clients. Now, I'm doing this story for you, the homeowner, and for you, the real estate agent. This was done, once again, by an Inman panel, David. And they basically broke it down into what was important, what's not important. And I just wanted to take these topic by topic and get the Everhome feedback on each of these. As you are the guy who has basically, by trial and error, created each and every one of these points for the company. You didn't, let's start from the beginning. When you really started your brokerage, you didn't have a template for the company, did you? You just basically did it by touch and feel?
Well, what we had a feel for was what our customer wanted, right? So what we were really focused on is what are customers asking us for? And we did something really strange. We listened. And then we said, how can we deliver what people are asking? And that's how Everhome was invented. Basically, we really stopped to listen to our customers, figured out what they wanted, and then developed a product that would allow them to get just that. And it's been working out terrific.
Yes, it does. Again, go visit everhome.io and check out the website. And certainly if you've watched the video, you've watched me go through it and read the stuff, but go visit the website. It really is pretty impressive. Let's start with, for both homeowners and real estate agents, they talk about the importance of to develop a customized presentation. I'm a big PowerPoint guy. You're a big PowerPoint guy. Do you use sort of a canned presentation that you put together to present the Everhome perspective to new clients?
No, not for, what we do is that we practice, drill, and rehearse an introduction, which is a couple of sentences. And then we just kind of go, our focus is on engaging in a conversation with the homeowner. Same concept. Take the time to find out what, the client wants and then help them get it. So we introduce ourselves, ask them a couple of questions and dialogue with them.
Which takes us to honing your branding. And I think this is where people get confused, right? So your branding is not really, I think people get this confused as compared to, say, the company name as compared to the company's message. I think branding is more about what the message is and what you are bringing. You've been a client experience forward company. Can you explain the branding of Everhome?
Well, when you think about, what you're saying is right. A lot of people think about brand and they think logo, right? They
Right.
think, they think the material, the imagery around a brand. And that's not what we're talking. We're talking about the message. What you said is exactly right. We're talking about what does the brand make them feel or think? And what Everhome message is and what the brand is really about is really empowering, enabling home sellers to do for themselves what they have until we introduced our software. They had to hire a real estate agent and pay them 5 or 6%. And so all we have done is democratize the selling of the home, because before Everhome, a home seller had two options, right? Option number one was to list their house for sale by owner and enter the process without any representation. The process of selling what is probably their biggest asset comes with a great deal of liability. And if you don't think there's liability involved in a real estate transaction, then the question I ask people is, why is the purchase agreement 18 pages long with over 100 paragraphs of legalese? If it were really simple, it'd be 1 page long, because there's,
Right.
How many, how much are you giving me? When are we closing? Well, it's not that simple. Okay. So what we've done is that we've done that, and then we provide them with so they can list the house themselves in about 10 minutes, and then they can show the house. They do the part of the transaction that they can and should do, and then we do the part of the transaction that they should be properly represented. And that is the negotiations and the massive exposure through the multiple listing service and those kind of things. It really is the best of the both worlds. So option one is for sale by owner, unrepresented. And option two is full, paying begrudgingly too much to a real estate agent to do for a home seller a lot of what they should be able to do for themselves. And we call it the Everhome way, otherwise known as listed with owner.
It's a great idea. It's a brilliant idea, and it's very client forward. It's something that you've carried through. I mean, through working with distressed owners, into your own brokerage, and now into Everhome. Has that influenced the way you've created this company by working with people that are in need, basically?
Well, I'm an advocate by nature, and so I really want to people to be treated fairly. I like transparency in transactions. I like people to have options, to do things that they want to do that may not otherwise be available. And so from that perspective, I really love what we're doing at Everhome, because we're doing something that's really never ever been done before. And whether or not it will turn out to be a long-term success is, yet to be determined. But based on initial reaction and based on the success that we're already having, it seems to be have massive potential. And we've really hit on a nerve here. And homeowners really want the option to be able to do business this way.
Makes sense. Number 3, and this is an interesting topic, which is deliver on marketing materials. And I want to make this clear before we cover this. I did a sales exercise with a guy who's not even a real estate professional, and basically threw him under the bus in a presentation type setting for the sake of doing it. And he went back to what you thought was important: create the connection, be the advocate, listen to the client.
Right.
And because I kept hammering on, what are you going to do different that's about the marketing? He goes, I'm not going to do anything that's different about the marketing. Everybody markets the same way. He goes, there is nothing new under the sun when it comes to deliver marketing. He goes, what I bring to the table is connection. When you're talking about this, or you're making presentations that are expired or canceled, I would imagine the same points get hit on, especially deliver on marketing materials. I've got drones. I've got this. I've got that. Is it really that important, or is it the human connection?
Well, now we're talking about material, right? We're
Right.
talking about the stuff that people look at and feel, and what's that, and how is that connected to your message? And so what we find is that, do you use, maybe a simple example would be, do you use a black and white flyer to market yourself, or do you use a beautiful color flyer? Which one instills more confidence? Because at the
Right.
end of the day, the connection that this guy's talking about is really about establishing rapport and trust, right? And respect. So it makes people feel good. It gives people confidence. And so that kind of thing matters. Having a quality website really matters. Being able to tell what your story is in a succinct manner, that really matters. Being able to share testimonials of customers who have done business with you in the past that support what you're saying, that kind of thing matters. Is your message on point? Does it get to the point? And is it easy to understand quickly? Because when you're communicating with people in general, your window is about this big, right? You've got seconds really, to help them determine whether or not they want to have a more detailed conversation with you. Even in a detailed conversation is in the 3, 4, 5 minute range. Okay, they really want everything in sound bites, and your message and your marketing and the materials have to be sensitive to that.
Which brings up an interesting point on both of these two first topics, right? And getting into our next topic, which is creating an environment, an inviting environment. How much of this is based on confidence of you and your service? Certainly, you're the only person that I knew up until I met this particular sales guy who was not even in real estate, that went on it's about the client, it's about rapport, it's about connection, but it's also about confidence. He's confident in the service that he can provide. And you're the only other person that I've seen that where you could walk in with a smile and a handshake and close a deal. That trust category is so important when connecting with clients, which leads into the next one, creating an inviting environment. Tell me more about, from your perspective, was it always that way for you? Were you always comfortable doing sales?
No, it's certainly a learned thing, and I think you just answered the question. Being good at sales requires some confidence. It requires some swagger, right? And I remember in my seminar days that one of the things I used to ask people is that we would identify a problem and the solution, and I asked the audience to believe, do you believe that if anybody could help them solve that problem, it's you? And everybody in the audience would raise their hand, and they would, saying yes. I said, well, that's what you've got to communicate. If anybody can help you, it's me. All right. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and let me use all my resources to see if we can help you solve that problem. That's the kind of swagger that you have to have in terms of the communication style. Listen, this is where we talked about scripting, right? A little earlier, and presentation. This is where the big difference is. You can write down some words, but if you deliver those poorly, if you lack confidence in your presentation, those words are going to fall flat. I mean, you can take one set of words and give them to a salesperson who doesn't think that they're going to work, thinks, and just going through the motions, just focusing on saying the words. Or you can put them in the hands of a salesperson who is highly confident, highly skilled, highly enthusiastic, really focused on helping you solve a problem that you have, even if you don't know that you have it, and you're going to get dramatically different results. So it's not enough to have words. You've got to have confidence built into your message, and you've got to invite them to trust you, and without saying, "Trust me." That doesn't.
Yeah, I'm still fascinated with your category, and this is the truth for anybody watching this. I've preached this. David and I have talked about it. There are 3 categories for how you select who you're going to work with in real estate. It's like trust, or expertise. And the worst category to be in is my category, which is expertise, because I just look like a know-it-all jerk. I'm more fascinated with your category, which is trust. People who can create trust in an opening relationship, to me, are simply the most amazing people in the world. And you are basically my exposure to that. Not to toot your own horn on this particular episode, but really, truthfully, your skill level, every time we've run a script, every time we've done a training, there doesn't seem to be a situation where I feel that it's fake or it's forced. And I think that's important for homeowners and real estate agents who are just so obsessed with, what are you going to offer? What's the script? It's not an XYZ thing. It is a people thing. And that's what you've made Everhome into.
Well, if you think about what you're saying, you know, if I could break this down into its simplest terms, is that selling anything, real estate, cars, pens, it's simply finding people to sell and selling the people you find. Finding people to sell is marketing. Selling the people you find is sales. That also lies the difference between sales and marketing. People think that they're the same. They're not the same. One is attracting opportunity and one is closing on that opportunity. Now, having said that, and we're talking about sales and not marketing. Well, your marketing has to endear confidence. So your messaging has to be right, but let's focus on sales. Sales, the best way to close a sale is simply to take the time to find out what your client wants and spend the rest of the time helping them get it. And so it's not about a sales presentation. It's about asking questions so that you can understand. I see two primary styles of sale. One style of sale is you get a prospect in front of you and you go on and you just tell them all the great things about you. And at the end, you hope that they say, okay. You got one presentation, you give it to everybody the very same way, and some people will and some people won't, and you go on to the next one. And then you got the more of the consultative sale, which is where I prefer the lane I prefer to be in, and what I teach my team to do, and that is asking questions, understanding what it is they're trying to accomplish, sharing with them what their pain points are or potentially could be, getting them to acknowledge that, and then show them how we solve that problem. It's a conversation. But before we just tell them everything, all the good things about what we do and how we do it, and assuming that our benefits are going to solve their problems, we start by trying to identify what their problems are, what their challenges are, or asking them about certain things that we think that might be resistance points for them, and then showing them how our program helps them accomplish that. And of course, making it absolutely positively risk-free and having 100+ 5-star independent reviews on Zillow really helps with our messaging, because we can tell people, don't take our word for it. Look at what these 100-something people have had to say about what we do and how we do it, and then try it risk-free and decide for yourself.
Topic 5 and 6 are basically the same, especially with COVID, right? Offering digital alternatives and leveraging social media. Is this really a discussion with homeowners, or is this they were filling spaces on the article? I personally don't know, but are homeowners coming in going, what are you going to do because of COVID? How are you going to market my property so more eyes see it?
Not anymore. The only thing that, in the beginning, a year ago when this was all starting, certainly there was a lot of concern about how we're going to do it. But for months now, COVID is a non-issue with some exceptions. We don't do open houses. We don't let multiple showings happen at once. Homeowners not allowed to be in the, house at the same time. So outside of that, it's really, very much the same thing. Now, there is a proliferation of online meetings that are taking place. There are a lot more 3D virtual tours, and I think a lot of these things are perception. And I know a lot has been made about people buying houses remotely and writing offers remotely. We have not really experienced that. Now, what we are doing is we are listing houses remotely. we are, with our Everhome program, we are listing the house over the phone, because it's such an easy decision for people to make. They can list their house for $29.50, get full service representation and the same massive exposure that they would get somewhere else, by listing with a full fee, full service agent. And they can cancel at any time, which makes it absolutely positively risk-free. And so when you make a value proposition like that, it's easy to, get a yes, and then the results just speak for themselves. So when people are out there, it's still basically the same business. The only other thing is I do some Zoom meetings, some listing presentations by Zoom. And we've got one going live on Friday where I've never been to the house. And we did a full service listing presentation right over Zoom. And here we go.
There you go. Which kind of takes me into the last section of this, which is 9 and 10. Most of those were digitally related, but 9 and 10 are provide marketing updates and schedule check-ins. I'm intrigued by this, and I don't know if this should be a thing in a presentation, or certainly clients should be aware of it, and maybe they should expect more. How important is it to just constantly keep clients in the loop? And I would think that this would be a regular thing or a regular service provided, but the fact that it took up 2 positions in their list tells me that this is not a regular thing for real estate agents. Follow up, something you've been saying for years, David. Maybe you could talk about this a little bit more, because you are so client-centric forward. Is this not a thing? I mean, have you seen what other people have gotten service-wise?
I think most listing agents are really focused on, set it and forget it. Now, listen, they can get away with that now. It's the hottest market that we've ever seen, maybe. Okay. Considering the low inventory we have, it's kind of insane when you can put a house on the market and you're getting a bunch of offers within minutes. You shouldn't call it minutes. Within a couple, 3 days, you've got 10 offers or more in some cases. So there's not much follow-up needs to get, there to do. You list it, you review offers, you open escrow, and you go on to the next one. In a more balanced market where houses are taking 60 days or so, 70 days or so, then there's got to be a lot of communication. And so in those periods, what we do is that we have a couple of reports. We're sending them traffic reports, and they can be automated. This is why I don't understand why people don't do it. I can send them I can set up showing reports so they get a weekly report once a week on all their showing activity. I can have the MLS send them a traffic report every week. I can have Zillow send them a traffic report, every single week. I can have Realtor.com send them a traffic report every single week. I'm not saying you should use all of them, but a couple of those you can do. We request feedback after every appointment showing that we have, and surveying the clients. We give that feedback for them, and then every couple of weeks we like to do a deep dive into their listing statistics and make suggestions and recommendations about how we might change up the marketing in order to get better results. Is traffic up? Is traffic down? Are we getting a lot of showings and no offers? Is it the price? Is it the presentation? Is it the exposure? What is it? And we're pushing and pulling on all those levers in order to make sure that we keep it in front of people who are likely to want to see that transaction and then hopefully buy it.
I have a question. Okay. For years and years, you've heard me talk about my friend who owns the mattress store as my general explanation for all things bad in marketing. And he once told me, when I was explaining an email follow-up strategy, he goes, well, I wouldn't want to get those. Have you, in your history of working with people and following up strong, ever had somebody directly tell you that's too much follow-up for me?
Yeah. So, yeah. And so when they say that, depends on if they say it to me in person, I say, okay, so you want me to dial it back to calling you every 30 minutes? That's perfect. Is my response. And I said, okay, no problem. We'll we dial it back. Listen, it's not for, I used to get my feelings hurt when I see a good friend of mine,
somebody opting out
in my emails. It used to hurt my feelings. Now it Doesn't mean they don't like me. It doesn't mean they're not interested in it. They just don't. They just don't want to get they just don't want to get those kind of messages. And it could be that I'm using a work email address, and they don't want the personal stuff. I don't worry. I'm over that now. I'm not worried about that at all. Anymore.
Don't worry. I stare at numbers for both of us these days. I still. Why would you hit spam? I always wonder the same thing when they opt onto my. Why would you hit spam? I'm not spam. I
don't take it personally anymore.
Which goes to the final question, the longest debating question I've ever had in real estate, David, and you are the only broker that I really talk to, mainly because you're the only one that I can talk to. That's a strong sentence, knowing how many brokers I know. Closing gifts. Yeah. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? They say yes. I'm always wondering about this. I have forever said your service is your strongest gift. Hey, maybe a Home Depot card, maybe a nice little housewarming gift. But what people buy for closing gifts is mind-blowing to me on a consistent basis. Where do you fall on this whole close strong, bring them everything, bring them a Tiffany's watch? They cite Tiffany's in this article.
First of all, I bring massive value to the transaction.
Correct.
Okay, massive value. I'm charging less. I'm doing more. I'm getting better results. I'm not, so I don't feel like I need to do it. Now, where I do gifts is for referrals. So referrals, I do gifts. I mean, for me, I'll just tell everybody, we have some realtors that are on here. I give a $25 gift card to anybody who sends me a referral, even if I can't never connect with them. If they just think enough about me to have, and they call me and said, this person, I told them about you, call them, they're expecting your call. I don't wait to see if I close the deal. I don't wait to see if I connect. I don't wait to see if it's a good lead or not a good lead. I sit down, I write a handwritten thank you note, I insert a $25 gift card, and I send it to them. And then if they close, I send them a bigger one with my thanks for the referral, because I want them. But customers, I don't do that. And we get plenty of repeat and referral business from our customers because our service is the gift. Our savings is the gift. Our results are the gift.
It's awesome. Go check it out for yourself. Go visit everhome.io right now. But first and most important, watch or listen to this commercial about Everhome. Welcome back, everybody. If David didn't sell you on Everhome, I don't know what ever will. But let me back this up about Everhome and David. I really have been talking to a relationship manager for my own company who is a street sales guy. And he's the only other person I've ever heard besides David go, where are your thank you cards for the people I meet? And I looked at him and went, what are you talking about? I'm going to write a thank you card to everybody I meet. I went, whatever you want. We'll get those printed right up for you. Yeah. And I can't stress how important it is to have someone that you trust without getting gushy and emotional. You guys really out there, if you're looking for to be a real estate agent with a great company, or if you're a homeowner looking for a different experience, go visit Everhome. Talk to David, find out for yourself. Follow him on social media at Everhome.io on social media, or at David Bartels, or ask me directly at Lee Honish Marketing. We would be happy to help you. We do this show for all of you so that you can learn the difference about Everhome and come to expect more. Gosh, there's something new in real estate. Expect more instead of the same old thing. We will be back in a couple of days with another episode for you to enjoy. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Monday. I've decided Monday's the drop day now, David. I've been meaning to do this in the intro. List your home online for one low set fee. Experience the Everhome way and discover the benefits risk-free. Explore Everhome's easy-to-use listing service risk-free and begin your journey to sell your home like a realtor. Get the benefits of massive exposure, full-service representation for critical elements of negotiations, legal forms, escrow, and title for a low set fee that saves you thousands. Visit Everhome.io. That's www.everhome.io. That's Everhome for every home. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Monday. we're a week in reverse. How's your Monday going, David?
I'm very excited about our new week.
This is the weekly Everhome's Marketing Trend Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Everhome. Visit them at everhome.io and follow them on social media at everhome.io. That is David Bartels. He is a broker owner. Follow him at David Bartels. My name is Lee Honish. I am a marketer. Follow me at Lee Honish Marketing. Maybe someday I'll add things to my title. I prefer marketer these days. First and foremost, listen to a word from our sponsor, Everhome.